Okay, I want to talk about stress in dogs because it's important, and unfortunately, it's one of the one of the very common reasons for problem behavior in dogs as well. And the thing about stress is that it's the same thing with dogs and humans. It's the same consequences. Our brain and body is reacting very similar to stress. And I'm quite familiar with the term stress as well. I have been stressed for a little while now. After my move, there's a lot of things happening, and I easily get stressed. So that's something I work on. So let me just share my PowerPoint with you. Here we go. Okay. And this is actually part of one of the lessons in level 1. Level 1 online, our online introductory course. This is just a small part of it. It's not all, but yeah. Okay, so stress in dogs. Just what is stress? I think everyone has felt stressed. So we know the feeling of stress. And like I just said, the thing is that dogs have the same reaction to stress, and they feel the same way as we do when they get stressed. Stress can be emotional, physical, psychological, environmental, and it's infectious from other dogs and from the owner. So if you are stressed, your dog will notice it for sure. And he or she is very likely to also get a bit stressed. And the thing is, you can't hide it from dogs because they can smell the stress hormones. Unbelievable. I tried it, and I try every time. When I'm stressed, I try to hide it from my dogs because I know that when they get stressed, they bark more and they get more, impatient and so on. But I can't hide it. And stress can also be a combination of what I just mentioned. And stress is a good thing. Don't forget, we need stress. We need to stress to be able to run away in a situation that can be dangerous. Dogs need stress to be able to hunt or to escape. So stress is needed. It's important for us to be able to be stressed in the situation. The problem, however, is that we might be stressed too much, also our dogs. And like I said, research shows that stress has the same impact on dogs as humans. So they can become physically ill if they're being stressed for some time, just like we are doing, humans. We are now having, I don't know if it was like that 100 years ago, but today people do get stressed. I'm one of them, and actually have to go on a sick leave. Well, I had to, not now anymore. I'm not that stressed now. But I think that some of you who are watching this probably knows what I'm talking about, more than they would like to, actually, because it's not nice. So the side effect of being stressed over time, not in a situation, for example, knock wood, if it's burning or you have to protect yourself or something happens suddenly, or you are driving and you have to brake really suddenly, that's good, yeah? And that kind of stress, we easily recover from it. But if if you live in a stressful environment, or if you are stressed over time, then, sorry, I just need to, okay. This is the thing. There are people coming, so I have to, hold on, sorry about this. Okay, so now I feel really bad. I got a bit stressed there. And it was actually my neighbor that I haven't seen for years. And he's a nice older man. And he actually came to tell me that I could just go and get wood for the fireplace from him the whole winter if I want, for free. And I was a bit embarrassed because I said, I'm busy at the moment. And I appeared a bit rude when I came out. And now I feel bad about it. What a nice man. So now I got wood for my fireplace this winter. Okay. Back to stress. So if you are stressed over a period of time, not in just a few short moments where you actually need it, but for a period of time, then side effects include that your brain cells get damaged. You will experience trouble learning new things because it's easier to forget, and you are less able to concentrate and actually to understand, to put everything together. Your brain is not working as good as it could. So you have less ability to concentrate, and your senses will be, and I say will because this will happen eventually over time. Not all of it at the same time, but this is physical things that happens to our body. So our senses will be more sensitive, and the same thing happens to dogs, which again means that they can be more reactive to what's going on around them. For example, barking. And stress can be physical. So you can actually have itching problems. And dogs have the same thing. They can start itching or have behavior like they start licking their paws or other chasing tails, chasing their shadow, other behaviors, repetitive behaviors like that. Allergies can actually come because of stress. If it's already in their body and they are stressed over time, the allergies has a beautiful opportunity to actually show. And of course, this is something that is in the beginning, I think, that we get problems sleeping. And the same thing happens with dogs. And do you know what happens if you don't sleep well? I think you do. Okay, so sources of stress. And so if the dog is now overreacting to various things and in different situations, there could be a good possibility that your dog is stressed and has been for some time. And when we are working with problem behavior, we always try to find the cause of the behavior. And if a dog has problem behavior, could be excessive barking, aggression, destroying things, chewing things, we need to find out what is triggering that behavior. And the thing with stress is that it's kind of, if you weren't stressed before the problem behavior started, the problem behavior will make you stressed. Okay, so before we can actually start changing anything, we have to do something about the stress level. We have to get the stress away. Can't get it totally away immediately, but we have to do things that are stress reducing, just like we have to do. Get more quality sleep, eat right, walking, slowly, nice walks in the woods. Doctors say to, in Norway, they call it a green prescription, which is walking. Yeah. So calm, nice activities, because you can't just lay down and do nothing. That's not good for your body either. So chronic stress can be caused by many things. And I'm going to list a few of them so that you can get an idea of what we're talking about. Obviously, pain and being ill will cause stress for the body. So if you are in pain, your body will be stressed. Repeatedly throwing balls, frisbees, sticks, and so on, that is cause of a stress, higher stress level. If you take puppies to puppy groups, play groups, too often, too long, the puppy is being overwhelmed, there's just too many things happening. That can cause stress. And now, please remember, I'm just listing, so this is overwhelming, I know. And you can do most of these things. I would not suggest that you are playing fetch, but most of these things you can do. We'll talk about that later. Cycle, jog, or any kind of repetitive activity that your dog does not really like or are not fit to do. Too much play or too little play. Separation anxiety, if you have a dog that is scared of being home alone, that will be a stressful thing happening almost every day when you go to work. Agility or obedience classes, when the dog cannot cope with these activities. Like I said, I'm not against being active or doing things with your dog, but too much is always too much. Being raised by irresponsible breeders or in a puppy farm, obviously. Lack of sleep or quality sleep. Too little water. Too little or too much or inappropriate food. Food has a great impact on our health in different ways. No space that he or she can call their own if there are too many dogs in one little space and he can't sleep or relax, or in a very busy family, for example, where there's little places to hide away and get some good sleep and relaxing for the dog. Being taken too early from its mother. Too many dogs close together with no opportunity to have personal space. Live in a too warm or too cold environment. Moving house or changing owners or moving owners. Changes in family situations, like if some member of the family is ill, very ill, or dies, or if you get divorced, or if one of the children moves out. Too high demands and not able to cope with situations. This happens quite a lot, unfortunately. Too much or too little physical activity, and the same thing with mental activity. I've never met a dog yet that have had too much mental activity, but I've met many dogs who has had too much physical activity and too little mental activity. And maybe it's just too much happening in their everyday life, in situations they can't cope with. So also multiple threats, such as strangers, or if your dog is scared of wind and there are frequent storms, or lightning and thunder, violence, obviously anger in the household, lack of calming environments and ability to relax. And remember that they pick up on our moods. So if there's a lot of anger or obviously violence, it's also not a good environment for the dog. So the thing with stress is that we can cope. We humans and dogs, we are made to be able to cope with stressful situations, but not every day, all the time. So the body and brain need sufficient time between the stressful situations to repair itself. And if it does not get that time to repair itself, that's when it starts getting dangerous for our body and mind. And remember that it's individual for each dog how much they can cope, what they need, and so on. It is individual. Some dogs can't cope with anything or very little, and some dogs can cope with everything because they are safe in their environment. They have the coping ability and security that they need. But if you are a little dog that has a lot of fear or anxiety, then obviously you can't cope that much with the environment. And symptoms of stress can be, or normally is, overreactions in any ways. So nervous, jumpy, generally overactive, barking, peeing, doing more of everything, unsettled, restless, fidgeting, such as chewing on the lead or air snapping even, lack of concentration and difficult to remember, difficulties learning. So if you are in a situation where there's a lot of other dogs, that this is also kind of not uncommon, that we have a class with, say, 4 or 5 dogs, and one of them can't really cope with the environment, then that dog will be stressed in the situation and unable to really learn anything from that lesson. Destructive behavior, excessive barking, whining, howling, lack of concentration, aggressive behavior, so showing a lot of distance increasing signals, maybe doesn't like other dogs, other children, some people, too few or too many or almost no calming signals, or very subtle calming signals, it's difficult to see them. Self-mutilation, licking or chewing themselves until sores appears. That is really sad, and when this happens, the dog has been stressed for quite some time. Itching, shivering, peeing a lot, diarrhea or constipation, either, doesn't have to be, people think diarrhea, but also constipation can be a sign. Tight muscles, this happens. We also get tight muscles when we are stressed. Shaking, trembling, compulsive behaviors such as tail or shadow chasing, excessive panting or sweaty paws. You can actually sometimes see the sweat from the paws on the floor. And some dogs even get a lighter eye color when they've been stressed for a while. Some dogs, they will stress up, becoming more frantic as a coping mechanism. And you know what? The thing is that these dogs are often mistaken for being very happy dogs because they jump and bark and they look happy. And dogs will wag their tails. Yeah, they wag their tails in different situations. You can't only look at the tail. Some people think that the tail is the most important, but no, you have to look at the whole situation, the whole dog. Some dogs, they shut down and are mistaken for well-behaved dogs. So we have to be aware of that. Okay. That was the end of my PowerPoint. What you can do about this is to do, like I said in the beginning, you need to do stress reducing activities. And what are those? Those are, for example, doing what I talked about yesterday, enriched environment, using their nose, doing something that is making them feel good. Of course, lots of possibilities to get quality sleep, so choose where they can sleep, when they want to sleep, and also the right food, nutrition, and chewing is also a relaxing, stress-reducing activity. Shredding is also, so to tear apart things, like a cardboard box or something, is also stress-reducing. Being around other dogs that they enjoy being with is stress-reducing. Doing nice activities that fits the dog. No running or jogging. This is very typical because they are showing behaviors. Some dogs can show behavior that they have too much energy, and it's because they're stressed. And then the owner will start doing more activities, physical activities for the dog in order to tire it out, which in fact is actually doing the opposite, causing a higher stress level. So we need to do more stress reducing activities, which means walking more slowly, sniffing, walking on a long, nice, smiley leash. Smiley leash is, it's a leash that has a smile on it and it's not tight. Okay, so these are things you need to do for quite some time, weeks, months even. Okay, and I'm not going to give you all the answers because that will be level 1, 2, 3, and 4 at our dog trainer school, but it's important to know that dogs can get stressed. Definitely they can get stressed. A lot of dogs, they are stressed, unfortunately, because of one or more of the reasons that I just mentioned in my PowerPoint, and that we can do something about it. We have to do something about it for the dog's sake. If we don't do anything, stress will cause eventually us to be ill, physically ill. Yeah. So less is more. Yes, that's so true, isn't it? Less is more. And the results from changing the type of activities we are doing to something that fits the dog better is amazing. And I'm not saying that you should stop doing things with your dog. Definitely not. That could cause stress as well, being bored and have nothing to do. But we need to change the type of activities. That is so important for me to say. Okay, have a very nice day and do some stress relieving, stress reducing activities with your dog, like having a nice long sniff walk, sniffari, or see if you can find some old used little dirty carpets and put them outside on your balcony or in your garden, let them sniff. Okay, bye.